And we'll... Oh, Richard Byrne having a big mistake! Richard Byrne, Aidan McDonough, Stephen Mullally, John Meara.
This review of the National Irish Championship is brought to you by B4MX.com, the classified ads website for everything off-road.
We're getting ready here now for the start of the first A and B MX1 race of the day, and the big news is there's no championship leader here. John Meara, after landing that brilliant ride for Phoenix Tools Kawasaki in the UK, is in Hawkstone this weekend, and as a result having to forfeit his championship lead. No doubt John Meara will be looking to take over that position as he rides for Team Norman Watt Kawasaki here today, but we've still got Richard Byrne in the hunt as well, last year's champion, and we'll have to follow up and see how the rest of the pack fare out at the start of this first A and B MX1 race here at Desertmartin. And the 5-second board is up and the gate is down and the rocket off the start here now, and I see a Kawasaki coming through. I think it'll be John Meara to take the whole shot off the front with ahead of Jordan McCann right there. Saw Richard Byrne sitting there in fourth as well as we watch him crest over this left-hander here to open out the lap at Desertmartin. So it's John Meara from Jordan McCann, Richard Byrne, right there, Aidan McDonough, Ashton and Mullally and Chris Ray in behind there as well as they string out here now and cross over the transponder line for the first time. And it's John Meara now looking to get one hand on that championship trophy, but no doubt Richard Byrne won't let him have it easy as Richard Byrne tries to tuck it up the inside. And they come onto that kind of Talladega turn here at the top of the circuit in Desertmartin with Jordan McCann just falling a little bit behind there now, but it's John Meara and Richard Byrne commanding this race for the time being. And we'll... Oh, Richard Byrne having a big mistake coming off sideways there. We've no John Meara either, so I don't know what's happened John Meara if he's dropped it, but Richard Byrne very lucky to get away with that one there. He's up in the bank and here comes John Meara now, ripping a tear off, shaking out his hand. They maybe had some sort of a coming together or something that way, but John Meara now dropped back to 5th position, but I don't know how Richard Byrne kept it all together there. So an action-packed opening lap here for the first race of the MX1 class with Richard Byrne stretching out a lead. Has left Jordan McCann in second position, putting in a great result here for him. No Robert Hamilton here today either, it seems, and they're just ahead of Aidan McDonough and Ryan Adair with John Meara closing in now. But Richard Byrne pulling out at the head of the pack as we watch John Meara at the top of that turn, cutting it in tight. We see can he get up alongside Ryan Adair here, and he does, he gets past him, so that's John Meara up into 4th position now, I believe, and you can see here how much of a gap Richard Byrne has already. And full straight away ahead of Jordan McCann. We'll come back here with Aidan McDonough getting it all sideways there as well as he tries to hold that 3rd position ahead of John Meara, but John Meara, he might be able to get past McDonough and try and get on the back wheel of the car. Eats a big face of roost there. And John Meara has managed to make his way around Aidan McDonough now. He came up the inside of him on the left-hander before the mobile as he sets his sights on Jordan McCann. And they sail over that mobile jump and grab a deep breath as they do it. And John Meara with the throttle all the way to wide open there, turn to 11. And we've got yellow flags out here. So we've got a rider who's Ryan Adair is pushing the bike back down the track. Jordan McCann, John Meara come at him in the other direction. So a little bit of confusion there with Aidan McDonough then rounding out in 4th here. And John Meara now has edged his way up onto the back wheel of Jordan McCann. We'll follow the two down now into the arena section of the circuit, seeing John Meara make any push towards him here. As he stays to the outside line and tries to cut back in to pull up alongside Jordan McCann. And the two riders side by side over the mobile here, and they get over to that kind of double tabletop straight after it, and we'll follow them around the back of the circuit, switching left and right. John Meara's made his way around the outside of Jordan McCann, that one there. So John Meara up to 2nd position now after making some sort of mistake there. I got a stone in the face. Ouch. So Richard Byrne now a good distance ahead of John Meara, and John Meara will have to do something really special here if he wants to pull onto the back wheel of number 57 as he crests that left-hand turn at the top of the circuit and tries to squeeze everything he can out of that 450 Kawasaki. Alright, so we're catching up here with Richard Bird after the first MX1 race today. Richard, we were just talking about the MX Nationals. You got a couple of race wins and a second overall in the day. Do you want to touch off that first? How that day was for you?
I had a good weekend. 2 wins and a second and a fifth, second overall. So it's been a long time coming this year to try and get a win. So it's good to go over there and get a couple. Tracking all was good and the weather was brilliant. So yeah, it was a good weekend over there.
Yeah, great day out for you. And I was watching at the start of this race here. So I think it was yourself and John Meara battling for the first lap and a half for that. And then a big moment to take the lead position in that race. Do you want to let us know what happened?
Yeah, didn't get a great start. I think it was about 5th or so, and came off 3 in the second behind John, and going over to step up in that right hand corner. So John went in tight, I went out wide and committed to try and pass him, and sort of came together. 2 lines came to one. John went down, fortunately, and I near went down myself, but a trials round to try and keep it up. But no, it was a good race.
Yeah, I caught you there. You're up on the bank in arms and legs and everything everywhere. It was like something out of Riverdance nearly with legs flying all over the place. But you managed to ride it good and safe and level then for the rest of the race and brought home a good win for the first one.
Yeah, it was a good race. So was able to see John cross the track and sort of just judge him each lap and keep a distance. But short lap, so it is out there, and starting to get rough. So next 2 races are going to be interesting.
Yeah, and would you prefer rough or smooth around here in Desertmartin? Talking to a couple of riders are saying it's a bit quick this morning for practice. They don't want it to cut up a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely going to cut up and slow it down. It is still very fast at the minute. So yeah, no, I'd rather have it rough. So it's going to get good.
Excellent. All right, well, thanks for talking to us today, Richard, and best of luck for the next couple of races.
Cheers. Thank you.
And a big thanks then to all those supporting Richard Bird with his racing efforts in this 2019 season.
Alright, we're catching up with the number 19 of Aidan McDonough after the first MX1 race. Aidan, you put in a good performance there to bring it home in 5th.
Yeah. Got a decent start now, so I was up with the boys at the start, but Armor got me then. It's like nearly every race now. Fitness is always there, it's just Armor gets me. So Mullally got by then and ended up in 5th.
Yeah, and what do you think is the cause of the arm pump? Are you riding a bit tight on the bike, or where's it coming from, do you think?
Honestly, I think the sag isn't low enough.
Okay.
Usually in stand 1 I run around 115, at the moment about 105. So we changed out now for the next race, and we changed the spring to a softer spring.
Okay.
So hopefully, and it's just stand up really, just keep on the pegs.
So down to the suspension setup and everything, you think is something that's leading your arm up anyway. Well, maybe part of it. Yeah. But how's your season been going for you so far? Then you happy enough with where you are in the championship?
Season in the Irish Championship has not gone great at all now, to be honest. DNFs now due to crashes and just getting used to the bike. The Southern Centre now, I'm in 2nd behind McCaw, 3 points behind, and yeah, just trying to get used to the 450 because I'm only 19. I only turned 19 this year, and I'm still trying to get used to the 450 because I was on 250 last year, and it's just getting fitness up and keep it going, like, because it takes years to get used to a 450.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you look a big strong man and everything, but it still takes the bike time and the race time to get used to the most powerful machines on the track, the 450s.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And how about for the rest of the day then? Would you like to a few more 5ths, or would you like to try and bump it up again? Do you think you could take it in ahead of Mullally or McCaw?
Yeah, 5th isn't great now, to be honest. I just want to keep going as best I can, to be honest. I don't know, the boys are flat out. They are on a good pace now. Just trying to last the race as long as I can and push.
Yeah, and looks a fast circle out there in Desertmartin today as well. But sure, look, Aidan, we wish you the very best of luck for the next couple of races anyway, and hopefully you can bring it home where you want to.
Cheers, thanks.
And a big thanks to all those supporting Aidan McDonough in this 2019 racing season.
We're getting ready now for the second A and B MX1 race of the day. We're in the first one. It was Richard Bird that took the win ahead of John Meara, but John Meara, as you heard in Richard Bird's interview there, going down here. So we see now kind of 2 stay together for this second race and see who comes out on top after Moto-2 here for round 5 of the National Irish Championship at Desertmartin. The green flag has been raised and the racers have been ordered to start their engines. The 15-second board is raised and we wait for the turn to 5. And switch to 5 now, elbows up, revs up, heads down, gate down 2, and we see who gets out here. Looks like Richard Bird with a good jump, but John Meara coming up the inside, and it's John Meara with the whole shot here ahead of Jordan McCaw. Atkinson there as well with a great start, coming out in 3rd as the riders funnel their way down into that back section here before they burst back onto the arena. So it's John Meara ahead of Richard Bird, Jordan McCaw, Ryan Edgar, Chris Gray, Atkinson, Mullally and Aidan McDonough. A wrap boisterous thunder here through the valley in Desertmartin as these 4-strokes take on the sandy circuit. Richard Bird biting at the back wheel now, the Kawasaki mounted John Meara here, as they know that the championship is at stake, given that Jason Meara isn't here today, and Richard Bird just sneaks around the outside of John Meara there, takes the position from him. So it's Richard Bird in first place now, and they charge at this double. Jordan McCaw following on there in third. We'll follow Bird and Meara here now, see if Meara's going to return the favour to Bird in this one. They both crest over that. That lead trio begin to stretch it out now over right there. And it looks like Jordan McCaw has dropped it somewhere, as Richard Bird and John Meara have just completely separated himself from the rest of the field here now, and it's definitely a two-man duo for this lead position. John Meara's gone down as well, I think. I don't see John Meara coming up there. So Richard Bird sailing out at the start of this race here again. I'm sure he'll be very happy with that, and a very annoyed John Meara, I'd say, falling up here now as he shakes out that right hand again. See here the gap that they have on each other. Richard Bird charges then towards the finish lap 3. We'll see how what the gap is here now. He's within sighting distance of John Meara, so if John Meara gets the head down, he might be able to pull it back onto number 57. And a very shaken Jordan McCaw coming back from the mobile there, but all the first couple of races here just falling into the hands of Richard Bird as he sets sail out front here to start this second race. John Meara trying hard, as you can hear him behind me, to push and catch up with the KTM mounted rider, but it's going to be tough for Meara here. He's going to have to find something pretty special if he wants to get back on the back wheel of Richard Bird. Mistakes costing Meara in the first couple of races here today, but Aidan McDonough putting in a strong performance for third here now. He's seeking to get through the race without that arm pump issue, and he's just ahead of Ryan Adair here, number 91, and Stephen Mullally and Chris Ray. This trio here of third, fourth and fifth where the action is at the moment, as Stephen Mullally has made his way past Aidan McDonough, and Ryan Adair has too, so maybe Aidan McDonough struggling with those arm pump issues again here in this third race. Stephen Mullally and Ryan Adair have gapped Aidan McDonough now, and Mullally just pulled out a bit on Ryan Adair here to solidify that third position. So it'll be Richard Bird taking his second MX1 win after being put under a bit of pressure earlier on by John Meara. John making a mistake then and going down, handing over a 10-second lead to Richard Bird, and it just proved insurmountable for the number 60 on the Team Normal Kawasaki in this race. But another race left to go, so we'll see how it wraps up for race 3. But in this one then, it's Richard Bird from John Meara and I believe Stephen Mullally then in third. It's time now then for the final race of the day, which is race 3 from the A and B MX1 class. For the first couple of races it was Richard Bird taking both wins, but on the back of mistakes by John Meara. So we'll see if John can keep it upright in this race and take that first position in this final one. But it was Richard Bird from John Meara in the last one. We're waiting now to see what way the overall ends up for the MX1 A and B class. The 15-second board has been raised and the riders have started their engines, so we wait now for it to turn to 5. 5-second board is shown, the revs are up, the gates down. John Meara had a good start here again. He sneaks up the inside with Richard Bird just behind him and Aidan McDonough. So it looks like it's John Meara from Richard Bird and Aidan McDonough at the moment, but we'll wait for him to crest this hill before we make any assumptions. Yeah, Ryan Adair and Stephen Mullally in behind. So we'll see now, can John ride mistake free here in this one as he beautifully doubles his way through that wave section there along the finish line straight here at Desertmartin. A wonderful bit of skill. John Meara and Richard Bird now edging it out over the field with Aidan McDonough put in a strong start here again, the third one ahead of Stephen Mullally and Ryan Adair. So we'll see now, can John Meara ride mistake free as the two boys turn around that kind of Talladega turn there at the top of the hill here in Desertmartin. And beautiful as they just soar over this double here, followed by Cork's Aidan McDonough. Forget that Aidan is only 19, he's such a big frame on that bike. But you can see Richard Bird here is hungry for a clean sweep of victories today as he hunts around the back wheel of John Meara. John Meara not really double through it there, but Richard Bird staying in hot pursuit. Richard Bird sniffing here now. And it looks like Richard Bird is matching John Meara blow for blow here as he pulls up alongside of him, and very close here coming over this double. Sail over there into the back section as Richard Bird has snuck back into the picture here. He is right up behind Jason Meara now. Oh, they touch in the corner and Richard, oh, he takes John Meara's on the deck. I don't know that Richard Bird catch the handlebar on Meara there, but John Meara down here again in his third race, and third time's the charm, you know. Not a great day for John Meara, struggling with these issues. So Richard Bird has moved into that first position now, and he's got enough of a gap to make a real difference here on John Meara. John taking a little while to get that bike back up. Sure, he's fuming under that helmet. That big 450 labours in the sand here trying to get the drive. And so it'll be Richard Bird then making it a hat-trick of wins here today. 3 from 3 for the MX1A rider, and taking the overall along with it to tighten up the championship. I'm not sure will he take the championship lead, which I think may lie with our second position here today, which is John Meara, the number 60. As you can see, Richard opened up a bit of a gap on John here in this third one. I think, if my maths is correct, that John Meara will have taken over the lead position in the championship. So it'll be a tight one down in that loan in a couple of weeks' time, but it's Richard Bird from John Meara and Stephen Mullally, I believe, in third. Right, we're catching up here with the number 50 of Stephen Mullally. Stephen, a solid day for you today. How was it overall?
Yeah, not too bad. There's one or two lads missing, but a good all day overall. Riding a good bit of sand in England this year for the first time, so it's kind of helped me around here. Usually I don't go too well around here, but no, we're going to do it bad today now.
Yeah, and have you much coming up now with the MX Nationals or anything that way again? When is that taking place for you again?
I'm not sure the exact dates, but there's 2 more rounds left. Gus's Gorse, and they haven't announced the last round yet. There's talks with me and Matley Basin, so be mint of us there.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, absolutely. I think that's only open for the GPs if anything. Yeah. But into the final round of the National Irish now, which is down to Athlone, is that a track you like? Or?
Yeah, no, I love Athlone, and usually I always go well in it, so hopefully I can carry that in for the last one. Try and get on the podium for the end of the year. We didn't have a great start to the year with my leg and stuff like that, but we might round it out on the podium, hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be a lovely way to finish it up. But sure, look, we'll catch up with you again at the next round, and thanks for talking to us here today.
Yeah, thanks very much. See you then. Thank you.
And a big thanks to all those supporting Stephen Mullally and his racing efforts in this 2019 season.
Alright, so we're catching up with the number 60 of John Meara, riding for Team Norman Watt Kawasaki here today. John, maybe a little bit of a frustrating day, but a good one with second overall.
Yeah, very frustrating day. 3 hole shots. Was riding okay. Crashed every race, which was frustrating, but to come out with 3 seconds out of Desertmartin, I'm happy enough and looking forward to the final round.
Yeah, the conditions look tough out there this evening by the end of it. Was it a rough track and, fast in the beginning and rough at the end of the day? How did you feel it turned out?
Yeah, it was very rough, very square edged, very hard. So yeah, not my typical type of going. Looking forward to the hard pack, and all I'm going to say is roll on the last round.
Yeah, and your sole representative here of the team. We have no brother Jason with you here. He's gone on to race with the Phoenix Tools Kawasaki over in the UK. How has he been with all of that?
Yeah, an awesome opportunity for him. Everyone's just wishing him all the best, and he's grabbed it with both hands. He's riding absolutely phenomenal at the minute, and all I can say is he really deserves it. And yeah, as I say, he's running with the top dogs over there in England, so hopefully he keeps it up.
Yeah, definitely. And you yourself have been announced as a reserve rider for the Team Ireland and Motocross Nations. Are you happy with that?
Oh yeah, I'm delighted. Even to have my name in that sort of loop, I'm happy enough. So yeah, fingers crossed nothing happens to the guys that has been picked, because probably the strongest team for Alson, and wish everyone all the best.
Yeah, and another year of hard work in between, and you'll definitely be in the running for again next year. So coming into the last round in Athlone, then it's tight at the front between yourself and Richard Bird. You're a hard pack specialist, I believe, so are you looking forward to that round then and what it can bring?
Yeah, well, I don't know about a specialist, but I prefer the hard pack and the harder type of ground, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Alright, well thanks very much for chatting to us here today, John, and best of luck in the rest of in the last round of the National Irish Championship.
Good job, thank you.
And a big thanks then to all those who support John and Jason Meara's race efforts in this 2019 season. After round 5 then in the MX1 class, it was Richard Bird taking the overall win from John Meara and Stephen Mullally. Aidan McDonough in 4th with Ryan Adair 5th, followed by Chris Ray, Paul Atkinson, Tony Conlon, Jordan McCaw in 9th after dropping out of that 3rd race, and Stuart Nesbitt in 10th. The overall championship then for MX1 in the National Irish is Richard Bird on 321 points ahead of John Meara on 315, so just 6 points between those two then going into the final round in Athlone. Jason Meara drops back to 3rd position, Stephen Mullally in 4th, Ryan Adair 5th, Jordan McCaw in 6th, James Mackerel down to 7th now, Robert Hamilton down to 8th, Aidan McDonough 9th, and Paul Atkinson rounding out the top 10.
And that's it then for all the MX1 racing today from Desertmartin for round 5 in the National Irish Championship, where it was Richard Bird taking the overall with a clean sweep of victories. So if you have been enjoying these videos and like to show us some support, then please do so by giving us a like and share on Facebook, subscribing to our YouTube channel, or as always, place an ad on B4MX.com. We'll catch up with you at the next round and the final round of the National Irish Championship from Doon Motorpark in Athlone, where the champions of the 2019 Irish season will be crowned, and we'll be there to capture all the action and share it with you. See you then.